Hello and welcome to this series of instructional videos on EcoSim Building Designer V8i. This session is devoted to spaces and we're going to be looking at the placement, modification, the use of industry standard tools such as Microsoft Excel when it comes to space planning. We're looking at linking back to our master model and eventually your thematic maps and legends. So to begin with, we're going to do some little housekeeping jobs here. Coming to our view navigation toolbar on the top of our view, coming to view, rotate view, and coming to top. If we need to fit anything, we can come to the icon on the left-hand side called Fit View. That's lo and behold, it does that. Now we're going to attach the structural grid. We're going to come to our primary toolbar, to our references, and inside our references, we're going to right-click, say Attach, and inside of that, we're going to say S Grid. We're just going to click OK on our reference attachment. Everything's already set up for us. That's great. We're just going to fit view once more. There are two other things we need to do very quickly. First is level display. Let's Control E. I can highlight exterior A underbar ground as a reference file and just turn off A-area and close that down. Now the last thing we need to do here is to attach our sketch, our schematic that our facilities manager so kindly has given to us. And to do that, because it is a sketch, we're going to come to Raster Manager inside of Building Designer. We're going to select ground.jpg and just click on the 1 to make it show in view 1. And there we have it. Hand drawn, absolutely precise. We're going to make it even better than that because now what we're going to do is load up space planning in Building Designer. And to do that, you come to the Building Designer pull down at the top and you say load space planner. Now that we've loaded space planner, it appears in our tile space interface above our architectural design tab, and it's packed with tools for the space planner. But the data that we need is coming from another source. That source is Microsoft Excel. And here the facilities manager and space planner have sat down together and decided on names for spaces and all of their parameters so far they require and their client wants. And we're going to bring those details and that data into our building information model in Building Designer. So we're going to close down Excel and now we're going to come to our space planning tab in our task space interface. First row, second icon in, create space using space planning dialog. You'll notice when you do that, the space planning dialog box opens up below your task space interface. And the one that we need to click on is the third icon in from the left, import spaces. The space planner import wizard opens and the first thing that we need to do is click on next. After that, we need to choose the file that we want to import, and that is that Excel spreadsheet from our facilities manager. And we're going to choose it here, ground floor program. Once we do that, we're going to need to click on this radio button. First row contains field names. After that, we get a preview of what's going to be brought in. And so we click on next. Our next page is the property bind page. And first thing we're going to do is choose best match. And that enables us to go into the Excel spreadsheet and match up certain areas that we may have already allocated to various parameters. In this case, program, which went to area program. We're going to now manually do this. We're going to come to name, going to click on the jump box. And what we're going to do here is come down to label. Under department, we're going to choose location department and we're going to click on the next. But there are no errors. Relax and then click finish. What happens is that in your task space interface, you have all of the necessary data to bring in and to start placing. And to do that, we come into our first icon, start placing. The start placement dialog box opens up for us. And the first thing that we need to do is to come in here and in our length, we need to enter in 60, press the tab, don't worry about that. And then in the attachment, we are going to come into the top right-hand corner here and change it. Now what we can do here is that we can move into our actual model that we're putting together and we're going to place that down. Let's come in back to our task space interface and you'll see that tenant 1 is now crossed out and we're going to go down to tenant 2. Tenant 2, our length is going to be 12. Our width is going to be 25 and our placement point is going to be in the bottom left hand corner. With that, we're going to come in here and place our space and immediately come down to tenant 3 and do the same with that. Then to 4 and finally 5. Now that we've placed a number of our spaces. They may or may not conform exactly to our space plan. So this is the great thing about Building Designer. We can modify these spaces. And as we do so, you'll be able to see how dynamic the data and the graphics work together to enable you and to empower you in your design process. First thing we're going to do though, is that we're going to come back up to our primary toolbar to our raster manager, highlight ground and uncheck 1 to turn our pencil drawing schematic off. Now what we're going to do is modify these spaces. First off, so the first thing we're going to do is come to our task space interface, and under our modify dialog box, we're going to click on modify element. And what we're going to do now is zoom in, and you can see that there is an area and a program area, and they match currently. What we need to do now is actually fit these to the actual dimensions. So we're just going to bring this up here, and you can see the area and the program area have now changed. We're going to actually bring this one up too, and we're actually going to right click on here, and we're going to say move. So here are all of our spaces laid out, and the one thing that we have to do now is obviously stretch that largest tenant 1 to fit the corner area to its left hand side. To do that, we insert a vertex, and to do that we come to our task space interface, we come to our modify tool sets, and we come down here and we say insert vertex. What we do then is that we can quite simply select a vertex, insert it here, and then to complete it we can actually just select it and we can bring across via our Windows handles our other point and tidy it up too. And as we do so, all of the time, our area and our program area are constantly adjusting to the actual finessing points that we're placing on. Let's fit this. So there we have it. We've got a rough scheme going on. Everything is assigned. And now all we need to do now is to go forward and to look at data groups. So let's come across to our task space interface under the data tab. And under our data tab, we can go to the 4th icon, first row, Data Group Explorer. Data Group Explorer opens, and the one that we need is obviously space. And now we want to click on the space program. And you can see in this floor 1, all the labels, all the names have been filled out, the area program, the actual area, and the ceiling height. All of these values are coming in and being placed automatically for you in the background to be able to you to exploit and take advantage of. If we come up and click on the one above it called the finish schedule, you'll notice now that we've filtered down the actual values that we want. And if we pull our scroll bar across, you can see the actual amount of values that we could include at any one time, including floor finish compared to each wall. And all of this information has been brought in from our Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that our Facilities Manager and Space Planner originally gave us. We're going to close down Data Group Explorer now, and we're going to take spaces one more level, because we're going to come back to our task space interface, to our Space Planner tab here. And in this, we're going to come 2nd row down, 3rd icon in, open the search dialog. The search dialog box opens up. It's made up of a number of elements, pull downs, icons, and fields. We just need to use the most simplistic side of it. We're going to search for, and in here we want to click on this jump box and select space. In the where value drop down here, we want to come in here to this jump down here, area actual, and change this to location department, and that's going to equal to the retail. So we're going to click on here and type that in, and then click add to search. Now what we're going to do now is come back to the jump down and select a condition, and in that we're going to click on area actual, and the next one is less than, and we're going to enter in here 500, and we're going to click add to search. We're now going to click on our search button to highlight those spaces. The search results dialog box opens and reports back to us 3 spaces that meet our requirements. We're going to highlight those, and then what we can do is come to this one to say highlight where are those spaces. With that, we can now close down our search and spaces. We can come back to our task space interface at the top here to modify properties. We're going to be changing their ceiling height. So we can click in this jump box here, this value here, and just type in 11. And we're going to be coming down to the ceiling material, which has yet to be filled in. And we're going to pick from our jump box acoustic tile 2x2. and then click OK. Our areas now have been changed and more information has been added to our model. We're going to come to our window and we're going to say Arrange. We're going to Fit View. So we have an elevation from the front, an isometric, and our top plan view. So what we're going to do now is actually link all of this back to our master model. And this gives you a very quick idea of the power of references and the nesting of. So let's go to our Project Explorer here, right by the left-hand side of our task-based interface. Let's go to the Links tab. Inside of that, we're going to twirl down Building Models. And inside of that, we're going to go to Design Models. And inside of that, we're just going to double-click on A underbar Ground. Our space planning is immediately swapped out for the file that constitutes some of the ground floor that makes up to our master model. And in this particular file, we're going to stay in Project Explorer because now what we're going to do is that we're going to actually drop in, literally drag and drop in our A underbar ground int. Simple as that. And our attachment method is going to be coincident. And we're going to click OK. And straight away, literally, instantly, our spaces are attached to our ground floor interior. But it goes even better, because what you can do now is that we can go up to our file Open, and we can click on our master low-rise scheme and open this, the master model for our whole project. Once we're in our model, we're going to go to our primary toolbar and click on References. And in that, you can see the hierarchy, which is opened by here, this icon here. We're going to twirl down this hierarchy here, and we're going to twirl down floor 1A. And you can see there that when we click on that, there automatically is our A ground interior. So we've added all of this to our master model. And what we're going to do now, we're going to come across to our elevation. We're going to come across to the marker here, to the ground floor marker. And in this, we're going to choose the ground floor plan, LRA101, and we're going to say open the target. We're now in our sheet, and again, we have all our spaces attached. But this time, you'll notice there's a certain lack, perhaps, of definition. What we're going to be looking at now is Thematic Maps inside of Building Designer. Click on Space Planner in your task-based interface, and the icon that you need is third row down, first in, Create Thematic Maps. The Thematic Maps dialog box opens, and the first thing we need to do is to create a brand new one. So we'll go to File, New, and in our new thematic map, we need to search for various criteria. So we're going to click on this icon here, Add Search. We're going to scroll down all the way down here until we come to Space. Then under our Property tab, we're going to click on this jump box, come all the way to the bottom, and choose Location Department. Underneath that, we're going to choose our operator. It's going to be equals. Our value here at this moment in time is going to be retail. And then we're going to color this because it is a thematic map. And we're going to color this to about this color, 207. After that, we're going to go to our legend and click on the word space. We're going to replace that space with the words retail area. Underneath that, we're going to add a new expression, because we're going to tell Building Designer and Space Planner to go out and recolor these for us. We're going to look for the sum of the retail area under the area actual, add that expression, say OK. After that, we could add a new search criteria. We're going to add another space one. Again, it's going to be location and department. Our operator is going to be equals. Our value in this one is going to be circulation. Our color is going to be more of a reddish brown color. We're going to look at our legend, and in this one we're going to swap out space for circulation area, and our expression is going to be the sum of it and the area actual. We're going to click OK. We're just going to use 2 for this moment in time, because now that we've set these, all that we need to do to impose our thematic map that we have of these current spaces is to click the refresh. And there we have it. Now that we've placed our areas in our thematic maps, in the colorings that we want, in the way that we want. And now we're going to use a legend to indicate just what we're looking at and the values of it, because remember, the expressions are the actual areas, not the program areas. So we're going to come to our icon bar here, to the penultimate icon of Place Legend. We're going to click that once, and now we just move our cursor into our sheet, and you can see this is now placing those with the relevant colors to indicate what they are and the actual areas that they are made up of. And that is spaces, thematic maps, legends of thematic maps, and everything to do with spaces in EcoSim Building Designer V8i. Thank you very much.